Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fetch Quest podcast where we talk about video games and more. I am your host Guy, joined by my fellow co-host Brewer
Hello.
and Connor.
Hello.
So guys, I got a question for y'all today. Is it just me or does it seem like more things just seem to just shut down for like no reason?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi just keeps shutting down when I play Fortnite and stuff like that. It really sucks.
Dude, I think he's talking about games.
Yeah, Fortnite is a game, you stupid, silly brewy. My Wi-Fi may shut down, but I'm glad Fortnite never will.
Okay. If I hear another Fortnite thing from Connor, I just think I'm gonna shut myself down. On God.
Are you a robot?
Yeah, I'm pulling the plug on myself.
I thought I was
Oh
the
God.
only robot here.
Yeah, we're
But
about
with
to pull
that
the plug on you.
But with that being said, guys, we're going to be talking about shutdowns in video games, what they are, and where we're at in like modern gaming. And specifically, we want to talk about the some of the shutdowns, especially as of recent with the 3DS and Wii U online shutdowns, because those hurt us like a lot. I have not played on my 3DS or my Wii U in quite a while, but the fact of the matter that some consoles that I grew up on I cannot play online anymore is just crazy.
Dude, it sucks because I played the original Splatoon on the Wii U all the times, along with playing Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on my 3DS. That isn't something I can do anymore. It's just
Dude, I
wild.
remember hopping into Splatoon lobbies after school, dude. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, especially when there's the SpongeBob Patrick Splatfest, all that good stuff.
You're right. Oh yeah, that was a Splatfest, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember joining random online lobbies of Monster Hunter, having to type out all my messages to people because I didn't have friends I could call up on Discord at that time, and then getting bodied by Fatalis. Good times. Some things never change.
True. What are y'all's favorite memories of like playing online, like in the 3DS Wii U era?
I remember I played a decent amount of Smash 4 online every once in a while, and that was pretty fun for me. I really enjoyed it.
Alright, quick question for you guys. On Smash Online for 3DS and Wii U, were you for fun players or for glory?
Okay.
I didn't play it a lot, and I was also a kid, so I mostly played for fun.
There's something really funny about this. I would play Smash 4 all the time when I was a kid, but I actually have only played one game of online ever, and I remember what it was. I was playing Pikachu, and I ran into a Ryu. I lost.
That's funny. After I was like, damn, this game sucks. I'm not picking it up ever again.
It wasn't even that. It's just like, oh, that's just online match. Okay.
Yeah.
Online match is not fun. It's scary. Keep me away.
The reuse players are very, very scary. Please help me, Daddy Sakurai.
So true. But Brewer, what's one memory you have on the Wii U and 3DS era that like you want to talk about?
Mostly the ones that I mentioned before. Splatoon was probably the biggest online game that I regularly played. I mean, I did still do some Mario Kart and Smash Bros, but Splatoon was the game for me. That and playing through Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, that was my first Monster Hunter, and I love that series. So that really got me into it, even if I completely sucked at it at the time, and those games are very difficult. I just have really fond memories of learning that game, getting better and better, choosing different weapons, all the fun monsters from back then you could fight, and that and remembering how big the community was for it back then. Just being able to hop in random lobbies with people, uh, just going to do a bunch of key quests, spend hours with them, just farming one monster, even though you didn't even know those people and you could only text chat with them. It was a great time. I kind of miss it because Monster Hunter lobbies and Rise are not the same.
No, I agree. I completely agree. I guess one big memory that I have with the 3DS era, I mean Splatoon 1 was just it was such a good game. Like obviously that game, the real content of that game had to be added like in patches and whatnot. But just coming home and like hopping on my Wii U and just playing some Splatoon 1 was just, oh my god, it was so much fun. And on like the 3DS side, I would always just like play with other people's in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Gen 6 Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. It was so much fun because I remember just going home from school and just getting on those devices and just like playing with people that I know and people I've never met before in my life, and it's just like those are really important memories to me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
It's so good.
I really hate that we're not going to be able to do that ever again. Because the thing that sucks with those games too, some of the games get re-released, like Mario Kart 8 got re-released with a better version. But some of those games you just mentioned, while they may have like new games in the series, you still can't get that experience anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, like, I really wish some of these companies would port their games, especially like in Monster Hunter's case. Like, if I want to go fight Gog Mazios now in Monster Hunter, I need to go play 4 Ultimate solo now, which is really hard because I didn't have like scaling back then for fighting shit solo. And I need to solo like every boss I go against to fight that like fucking hell spawn on my own.
That's fair. And like, dude, the thing is, I'm okay with like things shutting down because like obviously hardware gets it gets outdated and whatnot, and obviously like the cost to keep servers up just isn't worth it because not a lot of people are playing on it. But I mean, like you said, I do think there needs to be ports for games before like that really happens, especially like games that were really really well beloved and had a high player base. Like the main ones that I'm thinking are like the Pokemon 3DS games or hell, Smash 4 even. Like it's just like games like that, I feel like they need to be ported over before like a major change like this happens, because there is unique things to those games specifically that we will never be able to experience again.
Yeah,
You will never be able to experience Smash 4 Bayonetta ever again.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Online, at least.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Now we have the modern version of Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's arguably worse.
Arguably, yeah, depending on who you ask. But yeah, I think Pokemon really sucks because, like, if they re-release the games, they would make so much fucking money. Like, people will buy it up. But, like, the only time I can think of where they actually re-released a game's original version and then, like, make a remake or something was, like, for Pokemon's 20th anniversary, Red, Blue, and Yellow. But now those are not accessible because the 3DS eShop got closed down, so I can't play those original versions and transfer to Pokemon up unless if I had already downloaded them. Even though they could very easily have just re-released it on the Switch Online.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it just really sucks because a lot of like especially for me, I really enjoy trying to find ways to play older games. Like, that's actually something I really like about the Switch Online, is that it has those like old game like applications you can use where you can like play Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So, and like the Wii U had a lot of stuff, like you could play Earthbound on Wii U, you could, and like a bunch of like other older games, but now you can't because they shut down all the like online stuff. It really sucks.
Yeah, well, plus, even with the stuff they have been re-releasing, it's still not access to every game. Like, I'm not gonna say every game out there needs to be re-released, because like every single one of them is worth something, because just frankly they're not. But there's a shit ton of titles that still have not been re-released that people would love to play. But Nintendo just like, they look at their computer every couple of months, they're like, oh, I guess we haven't put anything on SNES Online in like 5 months. They just smash in a couple numbers. It's like, okay, we'll choose these random ass games to put in there.
Yeah, and that's just a really unfortunate thing, because they could make a lot of money if they like were to expand that roster for a lot of other games, because like
Mother 3.
Obviously, how do I put this? In modern gaming, it's easy but also hard to play older games, and I'll elaborate more on what I mean. You can obviously, there are ports for a lot of older games from developers like remakes and remasters and whatnot, but also we have the technology of emulation to get those games as well. But the problem is that like a lot of these emulations are just wonky, and we want to play like a genuine like
or
real experience.
or they get shut down, which is also not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, emulation's always it's a risky thing because like yeah, you can play the games very well at good and they run well on like your PC and whatnot. But two things: one, you have to have a PC for it, and depending on the game, you need a well running PC for it. And two, that emulation can possibly be shut down due to copyright issues from the developers. So you kind of are in a sticky situation.
Yeah, because emulation is very accessible. Like, it's gotten easier and easier as the years have gone on, but it's not ever going to be as simple and convenient as me just like downloading it on my Switch or downloading something on my PlayStation and just playing the game, like
Yeah,
without having to set up a bunch of ROMs and stuff and files. Like, even if it's not super difficult, there's still that barrier of entry there that I don't want to have to deal with. So I may just like not play the game. And then official copies too, even if I have the old hardware, they may be like fucking stupid expensive. Like, if I want to go play
yeah.
Skies of Arcadia, I have either the GameCube or Dreamcast version, which both are consoles that would cost me like maybe let's say 80, 100, maybe like 60 if I got a backwards compatible Wii. But then the game themselves, I think either version costs like $100 just for a loose disc.
yeah, or an even more infamous version of that, which this isn't even an old game in my opinion. It's not like super old, but like Black 2 and White 2, like those are like
Like
300.
the Pokemon games.
Yeah, like those are insanely expensive if you want to actually buy them.
Yeah,
They're like,
and there's no way to like officially play them right now other than legal copies.
yeah, it's I think they're like $300.
Nah, they're not at that right now. Well, if you go on Amazon, they may be that much, but Amazon jacks everything up. They're more around like 100 right now for a loose copy or something. But still, that is an
Yeah,
insane
that's
price
so expensive.
for a game that was $40 brand new retail
That's nuts.
and sold millions of copies. Like, it wasn't the best selling Pokemon game, but it's still a Pokemon game. It still sold millions of copies.
What? Just off topic. What is the highest selling Pokemon game? Is it still Red and Blue and Yellow?
I think so, yeah.
Here, I can look it up real quick.
Though I think the new games, Scarlet and Violet, are getting close because of the higher install base and whatnot. That in gaming has just
great.
evolved a lot from
Yeah.
there. So,
And
Yeah,
you know what's crazy about that?
mm-hmm.
As far as I know, I don't think you can play Red, Blue, or Yellow on the Switch.
Not right now. No.
so
Exactly.
yeah, guys, right. It's red, blue, red, green, and blue. With 31.38 million units. And then the second one is gold and silver, and then
Yeah.
diamond and pearl right behind it.
Yeah, you can play like the
yeah.
Let's Go games, but those are very different experiences from the original Red, Blue, and Yellow.
And something that actually surprises me is that X and Y is number 4.
Well, it was on the 3DS, and it was like
Yeah,
the first 3D
I know.
game, so that makes sense.
Just with how many people like hate on those games, sometimes it's like you'd expect them to be lower.
I mean, yeah, but any Pokemon game that gets a lot of hate, at the end of the day, still sells below. Like, look at Scarlet, Violet, Sword, and Shield. People were dogging on those games online, but what do you know? Launch day, they were saying they were going to boycott it. Oh, let's say 10 million copies in like 3 days.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Happens every time.
But back to like the shutdown thing. It's like it's really unfortunate because like there are games that I want to play, I'm just not able to, and it's like yeah, I can emulate it or whatnot, but it's also like I don't know, having the experience of like just playing that game the intended way is just like it's so magical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, some games, like, even if you do emulate them, you still can't get the original experience unless they're properly re-released. Like, you can maybe set up, like, some fan servers or whatnot to, like, play some games. Like, I think Phantasy Star Online has some. And there's a couple other games that are getting some servers set up so you can still play them. But it's still not going to be the same as, like, the game, you know, getting re-released. A lot of people pick it up, and then there's official servers to play them on with people.
Yeah, if you want to
Yeah.
know, like, there was, before, like IGN decided to snitch. There was a thing where uh like a bunch of people had come together to like start up like their own Splatoon servers, like Splatoon 1 servers. So you could keep playing Splatoon 1 even after the thing got shut down.
Mm,
Mm.
that's crazy. But
Yeah, so it just goes to, I think that just really proves like how, even though like again like it was Splatoon 1, so I don't think a lot of people were playing it, especially with 3 out. But those games meant something to people, and so like just shutting them down and like you can really just never play them again.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Well, I think with some of those games too, they're never going to want to re-release them because they want their focus to be on like the main new one, and I think in their heads too, why play the old one when you get the new one? But
Yeah, exactly.
Splatoon 1 was a very different game than like
Oh
Splatoon
yeah.
3, not just with the campaign, but like play a match of Splatoon 1, it is fucking chaotic with all the specials and whatnot being as not nerfed
they were
as they are
broken.
now. That's the best way I can say it.
They were broken back then. Jesus.
Yeah, you had like nukes coming down every 5 seconds in the game. And then full on tanks coming through with shields that were unbreakable.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, those are the days.
Those
Now
were
here's a
days.
question I want to ask. Here's a question I want to ask that
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely want us to think about. With consoles, we are obviously going to see consoles like individually get shut down as they improve. Makes sense. Like Xbox 360 shut down in 2016. Makes sense because the Xbox One was doing very well and most people moved on to that. That makes sense. Same happened in PS3. And we're eventually going to see it for the PS4 and Xbox One. They're not shut down yet, but I feel like we're gonna see it eventually. My question is, are we gonna see the same thing for Steam? Because Steam is so universal for a lot of things, and because I feel like Steam is just the number one place to have games, to have PC games, do we think that there are going to be any games that will shut down, their online services, through Steam with no developer involvement? So, like, what I'm asking here, let's
Basically,
take
the whole
Monster Hunter
platform
World.
gets shut down instead of developers stepping in. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Like imagine this, like Monster Hunter World, the highest selling Monster Hunter game in the series, very popular. It's already done with like all of its events and whatnot. It's basically like done. I'm thinking that because it is the first Monster Hunter game to be on Steam, and that it is on Steam, I don't think the servers are going to shut down for at least like another 20 years or something like that.
I think, yeah, it's just Steam, as much as it can be like a good or bad thing. Steam has a monopoly on the like online PC market because like if you want a game, Steam has it.
Well, also, I think some of the other services kind of just suck. So it's like
Like,
they have a monopoly, but it's not like they were really trying to make it a monopoly. They
Yeah.
were just better.
yeah, like
Yeah, like, and the thing
what
is
was
that
it
like
called, like,
Steam
Google
is also just
Stadia?
you first.
I was gonna say like Google Stadia and stuff like that. Like just I think that was something that was trying to be like Steam. I could be misremembering, but I think because of how much like Steam, just as you said, how universal it is, I just do not ever see a situation where Steam would shut down unless like I don't know, like the entire thing just got nuked.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, Steam in and of itself, like, it's just very accessible to a lot of people. You can just make a Steam account and just, like, get a game or two, and they'll save, like, what genres you typically buy from, they'll give you recommendations and everything. So, like, Steam is, like, there's just a reason why, like, Steam has a monopoly over that stuff, but, like, that raises also an interesting question, because, like, because of PC culture, are we going to see this change, like, of like the shutdown cycle for consoles? Will it apply to Steam or no? And I don't think so. I think
I think
honestly, if an online shutdown were to happen, I think it'd be a developer choice if it's on Steam. You know what I mean?
with
Yeah.
the only thing I could see happening is that like Steam will like just change its look and get like updated eventually, and like maybe it'll like be a completely new application or something. But I never see Steam like fully shutting down. or like something akin to like the Xbox 360 shutting down and stuff like that. I just don't see a world in where that happens with how much of a monopoly Steam has on the PC market.
Oh yeah,
We'll have to
Steam is.
see because that's Steam ending. I feel like it's something that it's not going to happen within our lifetimes, or at least not until we're like stupid old.
I agree.
Because I can see other companies shutting down and whatnot for like, oh, they kept releasing a bunch of live service games that all got shut down, which another topic we're going to bring up soon. But they weren't profitable and they spent too much on them, so the company had to shut down. I can see that happening, but Steam itself, like, nah, I don't see that for a while.
Well, because like Steam, like with the PS5 and like the PS4 and like all the consoles, like the console hardware improves, which means you have to, get different games. But because Steam is like a marketplace, Steam doesn't improve. The computers do, but because you can just download Steam, like there's no need for it to improve when the stuff you're using it on improves. Get what I'm like? Do you get what I mean?
I think I see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Because-
it's like you first.
I was just gonna like reiterate because you're able to download Steam and Steam's able to have whatever really it wants on there. There's no reason to like ever shut it down, because if you shut it down, you're losing so many like games and stuff like that have come out, like old games like Final Fantasy VII. You're losing like super hard to find games and stuff like that. So I just think that shutting down Steam is just never gonna happen. But that's all I really want to reiterate.
Yeah, I guess like, Brewer, I know you had a topic. Saved like you said something about it like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, it was a bunch of live service games. Like their entire gameplay is built around just like a live service model where you have to be online and whatnot. So once those servers get shut down, the $60 you spend on that game can essentially be thrown in the trash because you can't play the game anymore.
Yeah,
That's interesting because
Like,
that's
biggest-
actually a really good transition point because like there are games out there like the Avengers by Square Enix or Anthem, which like very much were meant to be played with other people, but their servers are shut down, so it's like, what the fuck now? You just wasted money. You know what I mean?
Well, I think also like the biggest one, like the game that like had everyone in its clutches like years ago, but it's become a shell of its former self, like Overwatch. Everyone was playing Overwatch, but like servers are shut down now. And you have
And
Overwatch,
it's
2,
Overwatch
which is
2 now. Yeah, it's Overwatch 2, which sucks.
yeah, like who the fuck wants to play Overwatch 2 right now?
No one.
I mean,
Exactly.
I've been playing it recently because I wanted to try it out, but I definitely
Poor Connor.
I definitely do see where. I mean, I have fun with it, but I definitely do remember playing Overwatch 1 and having a little bit more enjoyment with that and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just
still,
like
it's very much a lot more rocky than Overwatch 1 was, and it's a lot more divisive. And if you want to get that Overwatch 1 experience, that is not possible anymore. You have to play the new Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
it was just a really bad business decision too from Activision Blizzard to like just rename it Overwatch 2, because like Overwatch before the second game, it's not even really a sequel. It's just like it's just a redoing of the first one.
Yeah.
But it's like,
as,
the thing is, the first game was already very successful, and all they had to do was just keep updating it with new stuff. But they just did it. They just did Overwatch 2 as like a marketing ploy. But the problem is that because it is objectively worse than Overwatch 1, and they were like, oh, all the people are just gonna have to go to this game now, they're stuck with it if they want to get like any like sense of the Overwatch feeling, even though Overwatch is just, it's a live service game that was meant to last a while, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
and as you know, I mean, obviously we could ask Liam because apparently he's got like 5,000 hours into Overwatch 2.
Wait, he's got how many hours?
No, wrong person. Whoa. He has 2,000 hours.
Okay, 2,000 hours.
That's still a lot of hours.
I knew it was in the thousands. I just couldn't remember if it was how high it was, but I know he's
Look,
got a lot of.
I can't even get onto him about that because I have 2,500 hours in Smash Bros.
I can argue Smash Bros is the better game in that case, though.
Oh no, there is no argument. It's objectively true. But yeah,
But,
yeah.
as someone who has a brief amount of time playing Overwatch 2, it definitely does just feel like Overwatch 1, but a little bit more.
but that's it. Overwatch is just a topic for another day. That's a way too big of a rabbit hole. But what are some games that like of recent memory that have been shut down? I know I mentioned Anthem and the Avengers, which were both flops, by the way. What are y'all thinking?
Babylon's Fall.
Oh yeah, when did that
Like-
release?
Somewhat recently, but like that was a project that had a lot invested to it, and hardly anyone touched it, and then it got shut down shortly after.
Dude, oh god, I remember so much about that game being just berated. It's oh my god, it's only 2 years old. March 3rd, 2022. That is wow, that is
Like, rest in peace
that's
to anyone
sad.
who got that game day one. You spent $60 or maybe even $70 for a game that got shut down 2 years later. Never really got that much of an audience.
That's crazy.
One game that I actually put a bit of time into, Spellbreak. It was I only played it for a bit, but it was essentially like a battle royale, but you can use like magic spells and stuff like that, and that shut down about a year ago in January.
Dude, I'm looking at some lists right now, and like, there's so many games. Like, there's a whole dedicated list to like how many big games were shutting down, like 2023 or like even recently 2024. Like,
Yeah.
there's Spellbreak, like Connor mentioned, Rumbleverse,
Gundam
Babylon
Evolution.
Fall, like I mentioned, Blaseball. That's one I've never heard of. Knockout City, Only Up, Call of Duty Warzone / Warzone Caldera, Cycle Frontier, Gundam Evolution, Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2, and Battlefield 1943. The day before,
Dude,
like,
that's
this is
crazy.
a lot of games that people have attachments to that are just getting shut down.
I wonder if it's because of like the I know a few months ago, I forget like the specifics behind it, but I remember like just the gaming market was just doing horrendously, at least in like the workforce. So I wonder if that's like we're starting to see the effects of that right now in terms of like games getting shut down, because we're always hearing in news that like big AAA development studio is having to lay off 150 workers, and maybe those are like some of the side effects of that.
Well, I think a lot of it is coming down to stupid decisions from the higher ups where they're like, we need to make a bunch of live service games with microtransactions, and we're going to design the games around you having to be constantly invested in it. This game, nothing else. And then what do you know? The game flops like a year or two later because people didn't want to be constantly involved in that game when there's much better games being released.
Yeah, constantly.
Another game I was thinking of that it's not recent, but I do remember it. I'm pretty sure like Club Penguin when that shut down.
Oh, that was a damn shame.
That was a sad day.
Yeah. Okay, we talk about like Splatoon and whatnot getting shut down, but come on, Club Penguin.
That was
That
like
game-
millions of people's childhoods. Like,
Yeah, and I mean we could go on all day. I'm literally looking at a website right now that has a slideshow of like 60 games that's shut down in 2023.
yeah, I do want to mention one thing. Knockout City, one of the ones I mentioned before. I think at the very least, while it did shut down, one thing I think they did, I think some other ones should do, is they let you get your own custom servers or just like host the servers yourself as well, so you can keep playing it. So even though there aren't official servers, they at least still gave you a way to play the game that you paid good money for. So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
sucks, but at the very least there's still possible ways to play it without like people having to reverse engineer the game to make servers for it themselves.
Yeah.
Like what we see happening with a lot of the Nintendo games that have been getting shut down, since people still want to play those games.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, one thing I kind of like this, they just off the top of my head, I think it's also like, if you really think about it, developers can also struggle with the shutdown and whatnot, like shutdown of consoles. I'm just thinking back to Capcom with Monster Hunter and how they probably didn't even want for Ultimate servers to go down on 3DS, but they're going to have to because they don't have a platform where the game is on.
Yeah.
They
They
probably
were
didn't even want
actively
that.
like telling people like before the game even shut down, go download all the event quests and whatnot, so you can like have them before it becomes like lost media. So
Monster Hunter is lost media.
technically, yes, some of the event quests.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Losing
Which
content,
the thing that
that's
sucks
crazy.
though is I think they have made some statements about re-releasing the games is they want to focus on the new, which I can completely agree with. It's good that they're still like evolving the series and doing new stuff with it. But at the same time, you guys are never going to bring like Dire Morales into a new game because it was stuck in the game with water mechanics that you will never bring back. Please re-release 3. Like, please. So I can fight that thing without having to solo the entire game myself, because the game was inherently designed around being multiplayer.
Oh, hell nah. Oh god. No, I get that though, and that's just the unfortunate state of online service, and that's like, because it's crazy, because everything has pros and cons, and because modern gaming has very much put itself more towards like being able to interact and play with your friends, there's also the drawback of that not lasting forever. So like, if anything to take away from this, enjoy the time you have, especially with the games you have and just like the people you can form memories with. Like, sorry to get a little sentimental there, but it's like, these are like some of the most important games to my childhood that like have been shut down, that I cannot play with other people anymore, and it's just like, I really realized just how important it is that I made those memories to be the person that I am, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, there's a reason that there is such a big outcry is because people love these games so much. Like, the reason there was an outcry for, like, PS3 and Vita servers being shut down for, like, their online shop, because people still, even all this time, and even with the Vita not being super successful, there's still games people want to play on it, and still want to have fun with, and there's still people that want to, like, actively try to play those games online today.
Yeah.
Even if it's not as active, people still love the games.
And that's what's unfortunate about it, is that like it's not gonna, nothing is forever.
Unfortunately.
It'd be like that. But
Yeah.
I guess like to wrap up on just like this entire episode, because I feel like we're getting to that point. Game devs, please port your stuff to newer consoles, for the love of God. I will give you my money, please.
Please, Capcom, I just want to play the old Monster Hunters without having to solo them.
Game Freak, please release your Pokemon games. You've done it for the older ones before on 3DS.
Nintendo,
Please just do it for...
Nintendo, please stop shutting down the cool online games like Super Mario 35, Pac-Man 99. Like, I would love to play those, but you shut them down while your online service is still going, so fuck you.
Oh yeah, those were just horrendous decisions.
Yeah.
Oh lord.
And
I don't
please,
know.
if you are forced to shut down your game, please at least do something similar to what we mentioned with Knockout City, and just give us options for fan servers and whatnot.
Exactly. Don't be like Nintendo. Nintendo's a content farm for the subject, I swear.
I swear. We could spend like another hour just like dogging on Nintendo
They make
for,
good
like,
games, but they're
like
busy.
shutting down everything with emulation, but then not re-releasing the games that people want to play.
Yeah. I know we've had this conversation on the show before, but the fact that they shut down all the emulators that allowed them to play their, like, Mother 3 is a great example. I think there was a Mother 3 localization that was out that, like, and obviously emulated, and they shut that down, and then, it's like, oh, well, we can never play Mother 3 now.
Weirdly enough, I think that's the one fan translation they haven't really touched too much.
I can't remember.
That one has a weird history to go over. Either way, they still just should fucking actually localize it
Yeah.
instead of me having to go out of my way to do a fan translation. Because the fan
Or-
translation is fantastic, but I would like to just boot up my Switch and be able to play Mother 3.
I mean, technically you can if you know language, because it is on the Japanese version of.
Oh yeah, it is. All I got to do is learn Japanese.
Yeah, just
Yeah, learn an entire language. That's one of the hardest languages for English speakers to learn. Yeah, and just to play a game.
I
Yep.
could become fluent in Japanese, and the same time, it would take me to be fluent in like Spanish, French, and like another language.
yeah, just do that. And you can play Mother 3, easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ah,
that simple.
man. Yeah, that
Oh,
easy.
Lord. I guess with that being said, guys, like, is there anything else y'all want to talk about before we wrap up?
Just play games when you can, because like I don't want to be like a person that's like, oh, FOMO and stuff like that, but with video games it is, as we've seen, a very real thing where games can just be gone because the servers and stuff will shut down. It's like like all the especially with all the live service games nowadays, like the Kill the Justice League, other games like that. Once the company's like, oh well, we're not getting any profit from this anymore, bye, you can't play it anymore.
Yeah, I could see Kill the Justice League like shutting down within the next like 3 years.
Yeah, because a lot of people are already like, oh, this is bad, and so it's just like, if that happens, it's like, bye, no more game for you, no more. But something that is good is that because Fortnite is a constant profit for Epic Games, it will never shut down. Fortnite is immortal. I am not being held at gunpoint to say this right now. Fortnite is
He said it. I think that's it, everyone. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode. Please like and hit that subscribe button if you want more content like this. But
Yeah,
I think that's been it for us. Because Connor said something about Fortnite, I'm going to shut myself down now.
yeah, please help us keep this channel running and our servers don't shut down by liking this video and subscribing and hitting that bell notification. But with that, thank you for watching, everyone.
goodbye.
See you later.